Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our program brought to you by Benedict Construction. You see the website right there, bcknoxville.com. I keep telling you about the custom work done by this crew. Take a look at these before and after shots of a completely custom rebuilt kitchen and dining area. Look, from new work, I mean, that on the left, that's what it was. And you look on the right, it's fabulous. I've been in that house. It's incredible. From new work to rebuilds, call the folks who built this very set we're talking from today, Benedict Construction. All right, I want to run through some of the latest developments in the lawsuit very quickly. I thought there weren't going to be many. I look forward to the day when there are no developments one of these weeks, but there were some. We got some numbers at the end of this segment, so bear with me. But if you want to be informed on what's going on, here is the latest. Okay, first, we learned this week that Tennessee initially hired attorney Bill Ramsey back in June of 2015. The lawsuit was filed in February of this year. You might remember on February 28, I speculated early on that Tennessee was likely given an opportunity to settle up front, keep this out of court and out of the press. And I think the fact that they hired their attorney last June suggests that, yes, indeed, they knew this was coming, and they probably had an opportunity to nip this in the bud and chose not to. Next, Tennessee Chancellor Jimmy Cheek made his first comments on the lawsuit via email this week. He said the claims against UT are false, and he pointed to many changes UT has implemented since an independent review in 2013. All of those changes devote more resources to education and support to the handling of rape and sexual assault cases on campus. Should be noted that UT hired a PR firm a few weeks back, which is why Jimmy Cheek is only speaking now, I think. Don't expect to hear more from UT administrators, coaches, players. I think it's going to all come through a PR firm at this point. As you know from last week's show, UT had already asked the judge to toss out a large chunk of the case and basically dismiss the thing as a result. UT had argued that for the suit to move forward, the plaintiffs must prove the university had actual knowledge that a specific alleged perpetrator would commit an assault, and then the school acted with indifference to that. That's the school's take. The plaintiffs' attorneys responded this week. They reiterated that much of their case is tied to the sworn declarations of former UT employees Jenny Wright and Tim Rogers, both of whom UT's attorney will no doubt attempt to discredit and may well do it. The plaintiffs' attorneys say that then Vice Chancellor Rogers gave a memo to Cheek expressing concern over the chancellor's refusal to discuss the inordinate number of sexual assault allegations in the Vall Hall dormitory, some alleging athletes were involved. UT said you had to be specific with us. This is the plaintiff's attorney saying we were specific. Tim Rogers was specific at the time. You ignored it. The suit also reminds the court of former player Dre Bowles' sworn declaration that Jones said to him that he had, quote, betrayed the team, end quote. Personally, I still wonder why we've only seen those three words. That seems like a very damning statement. Why would you only release those three words? There's a lot of context. And if somebody says, son, the team's going to feel that you betrayed the team, your teammate's going to feel you betrayed, that's a big difference than you betrayed the team. So I wonder if this is particularly damning toward Butch Jones, why are we only seeing three words of it? The plaintiff's attorneys also in this week's filing defended the inclusion of the last plaintiff who has accused suspended Vol Alexis Johnson of assaulting her. They claim that she is suing UT for fostering a hostile sexual environment that led to her assault. The attorneys also reiterated the claim that because 6 of the plaintiffs had left UT, women are being deprived of equal access to education, and that is your Title IX issue. Judge Alita Trauger, a graduate of Cornell, Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt Law School, has yet to decide on whether to move the trial to Knoxville, as UT has requested. She'll also, if she does move it, then the next judge, who is in this district, East Tennessee, will rule on what to throw out and whether to dismiss. If Judge Trauger keeps the trial in Nashville, she'll decide what's in or out of the case. Finally, these motions are slowing down UT's response. Every time something changes, we've been waiting for 2-3 weeks for that response. Something changes from the plaintiffs, UT has to come back to another filing. That delays UT's paperwork on their defense, which we are all waiting for. Now, all that said, the TBI released last month its Crime on Campus report for 2015. Many people are comparing the crime data from Vanderbilt's small campus to the data from Tennessee's large campus. Over at the Benedict Construction Big Board, we have some of the TBI's numbers so you can see for yourself. All right, Vanderbilt has a student population of about 12,000, UT about 28,000. In 2015, Vanderbilt had 22 forcible sex offenses on their campus, 6 were cleared. Tennessee had only 2 in 2015 in a much bigger campus. You look at forcible rape cases, 10 at Vanderbilt, only 2 at Tennessee. Total assaults, not just sexual, but total assaults, 106 on that 12,000 person campus, just 28 at 28,000 campus Tennessee. The idea that's going around there, and it's clearly being put out by Tennessee from who this is coming from and where you're seeing it, the idea is that Tennessee has a much safer campus than Vanderbilt, for example. Is that the way you see those numbers, or do you think the plaintiffs can spin that in a way? What are your thoughts on the TBI data that's being floated out there in defense of Tennessee?
Well, the numbers don't completely defend Tennessee, but they do help Tennessee's case. I don't know how you could look at those numbers and not think, well, that's good for Tennessee's side. Now, that's what we're going to get. Also, the numbers and all the info you just threw out there, John, that backs up my thought. I think several thoughts here that this is going to continue on, and we're going to get stories and numbers from both sides.
Yeah, and you would think those numbers just to be the opposite after you saw the enrollment. You would think, to me, that it would be the Vanderbilt numbers would have been on Tennessee's side.
So let me play the plaintiff's attorney. This depends on what the jury hears. If the plaintiff uses this, if their attorneys use this, that absolutely, by the way it shows it, Tennessee's got a safer campus. That's the info. That info is provided to the TBI by the university. The plaintiff's attorney may well say, you see, there's the problem. Do you really think there are only that? You've got a school that's twice the size and you only have that many being reported, whereas at Vanderbilt, where they take it seriously, you've got this many being reported? I don't know if a jury would buy that, but I guarantee you, if Tennessee enters this kind of stuff, and again, I think Tennessee's behind floating this out there. If Tennessee enters this into the court, I would think that the plaintiffs would respond that way, and then it's up to the jury. Does that show you that Tennessee's a safer campus, or does that show you that Tennessee isn't reporting everything they should and taking things seriously where they should?
Yeah, it just depends on what side you're on. I think you're right. I think we're going to see this fluctuate both sides, counterpoint.
But even if you do put that theory out there, like you're saying, Tennessee isn't reporting it the way they should, you still have to bring some facts to the table to back that up. About here are 10 or 12, 20 or 30 cases.
You would hope so, and you would hope the judge would make that the case.
Right.
But also, it's preponderance of evidence. I look forward to seeing the UT defense. We went through the process of the plaintiff's case a few weeks ago, back on February 28th. Look it up on our archive, sportsource.tv. You can look on February 28th, segments 1 and 2, to find how we went through the plaintiff's case. I look forward to going through the defense's case because it's going to be interesting to see how they undercut a lot of the stuff that's out there. But this one, when I saw it floating around, I thought, this can spin both ways. Like all of these things can spin both ways.
And that doesn't tell you the football aspect of this as well.
Absolutely.
For both sides.
All right. When we come back, Vols recruiting in basketball. John Calipari and what he's doing. Kevin Stallings leaving Vanderbilt for Pittsburgh. We'll discuss all that. Come on back on the Sports Source.